Nargacuga, Seething Basil, several other new monsters.
There is a glaring hole in Title Update 1 that currently has no monster shape to fill it. So what better way to pass the time as we sit, waiting, wondering, getting right proper excited, than to try and work out, through proper scientific process, what the other monsters we will get in Title Update 1 will be, and so on and so forth. So let's look at the facts then, okay? It says, and several more new monsters on top of Seething and Lucent. Now, several is a hard word to define, unless we look at the definition of it. More than two, but not many. More than two, but not many. So, it's gotta be more than two, right? But not many. So 3 feels like it makes sense because a 6-monster title update would be ridiculous. So let's assume then that we are getting 3 more monsters on top of Seething and Lucent. Well, what do we know about those monsters? They are either a rare species or special species, which we know to be a mistranslation of variant monsters. So they're either rare monsters or variant monsters. That gives us a very limited pool across all of Monster Hunter history to actually choose from. So let's dig in a little bit deeper then. If we go to our rare species list, well, we've got ourselves Molten Tigrex. Now he is obviously awesome, and I actually think there's a good chance we get him, just not in this first title update. The reason being is we're getting Seething, a big explodey fire monster, so it would feel kind of weird to cram in Molten on top of him being part of the, Tigrex, Nargacuga, Barrioff trio. It would sort of take away from the Lucent of it too, and it would just be weird pacing. So I think we can eliminate Molten. So then we move to Abyssal Legiogris, and we all know anything Legiogris isn't happening. Except maybe in awesome mod form. We're getting Lucent, of course, so then that leaves literally Silver Rathalos and Gold Rathian. And let's be honest, they're in every bloody Monster Hunter G-Rank game, aren't they? That's just, you can't escape them, okay? They are omniversal metal rafts. We got them in Iceborne. They got their new Super Hellfire mode, which is really badass, and I do wonder if we would get that again, or an entirely different new take on Silver and Gold, but I will be very surprised if the metal rafts don't come along. On top of them being, well, kind of the only thing left by process of elimination, of course we get a new rare species, which would be badass. But at the same time, is that likely, a full-on new monster so soon as opposed to later title updates? I'm not sure. But look, the metal rafts are easy to implement because they're color-swapped, just more intensified versions of the rafts that are already in the game. They're cool and they're neat and they're good to have. It's more armor sets, it's more to hunt, it's more variety, but no one's looking at the metal rafts and going, yes! Oh! God, favorite monster! Well, a few people might, but look, at this point, we're a little bit like, yep, metal rafts, woo! And that means that they're great sort of, I don't want to say filler, because obviously not. Everything is built with care and deliberacy, attention to detail. These title updates are looking lovingly made and fantastic, but they are a nice, easy way to kind of make a title update bigger without both taking away from the main event monster, but also still giving us something neat, fun, challenging, and worthwhile to fight in some legendary classics that are the metal rafts. So I would totally go for them, especially in this first one to get us started, which puts us at 4 monsters. It's also a supporting to the fact that we are getting several, i.e. 5 at least, and that's a lot, so 2 of them being metal rafts kind of has a, okay, so that's why there's so many mentality, and it just kind of works for me. I could be wrong, I would prefer different monsters, but that's kind of where it goes on the rare line. So if we hop over to variants then, well, there's not really a lot it can be. Frostfang Barioth, of course, but I think he doesn't get in for the same reason that I don't think Molten will come yet. It would take away from Nargacuga being, well, the main event, as it were, in Lucent form. And I also don't think he's the most interesting or well-loved, and he's also recently been in Iceborne, and it just kinda doesn't work for me. Then we have Chaotic Gaul Magala, which I think is a really good call. Not crazy hard to implement with Gore and Shagru already in the game, it's just like a fusion enhanced of them, but it is a big deal. A very big deal. And shoving that in the first title update with 2 monsters already revealed, I feel like would overshadow them a lot. But at the same time, if I had to choose from monsters that already exist and can't select new inventions, it would have to go to Chaotic for me, just on the most likely of all the remaining variants, of which all of them I think aren't super likely. But yeah, I can see Chaotic Gaul happening. In fact, I wouldn't be totally surprised if he's a title update 2 or 3. It feels kinda right to put the full Gaul family back in. It's a good way to evolve them through updates, but at the same time, I don't think it's right for the first, but maybe I'm just, you know, making this up as I go along, which I guess I literally am, because it's both a theory and this isn't scripted, so go figure. In any case, we've already got Furious Rajang, there's no Devil Joe too savage, and I doubt we're gonna get Rusted Kashala, because, let's be honest, who wants Rusted Kashala? So for this final 5th place, it's kind of harder to place, which is why I'm left looking at, maybe a new monster. It would make sense that we're going to keep getting teased about the title update. We don't even have a release date yet, so surely if we get a new reveal or something, it's going to be a big ticket item, a big ticket monster. Maybe something that's gonna really make us go, whoa! On top of course, the new Anomaly quests that basically are almost confirmed at this point, thanks to Curio Crafting. But if we need a big deal monster, then what best to do a new monster? Or at least a new version of an existing monster, which is more likely if it's gonna be a variant or a rare species. So the question is then, which monster and what? Well, the obvious answer, and the most wanted to me, is of course Goss Harag. Almudron got a subspecies, Raknakadaki got a subspecies. They're the other 2 big deal monsters in base Rise. Even Somnicanth and Bishatan got one. But Goss, the most loved, the biggest fan favourite monster, got left out of a new form in base Sunbreak? Now that ain't right. That does not seem right. That does not seem like a deliberate decision that would happen unless there is a Super Goss planned for an update to really give him that oomph as the most loved new Rise monster, and that's where I'm kinda hoping with this. I have literally no reason to believe it will be, other than A, he is utterly loved more than any other Rise monster, and B, weirdly got left out in base Sunbreak, and C, another variant or rare species from the past doesn't really make sense given the context of the update. But for me, I would love Goss Harag. We have this awesome molten flaming obsidian blade Goss Harag by Amayanesis, which is just utterly divine, and that, yeah, okay, I'm all over that. An element swap Goss is what it needs to be, and I think for that a variant makes the most sense, and if we're getting 3 rare species, Lucent and Metal Rafts, then 2 variants to bring them up, Seething and variant Goss, also kind of makes sense to me. We also have this Majolnir Goss Harag with a lightning hammer fist, which is, is that not a cool idea and concept by Heliolisk98? Yes, indeed, that is, I would go for that. I would be very, very happy with that. So these are kind of my thoughts, my predictions. If I absolutely had to go for it, I'm gonna say Metal Rafts and a new variant of an existing monster in Sunbreak, and if I had to go further, I would point the finger at Goss Harag. There, I said it. It's probably completely wrong, but hey, theorizing and having these types of discussions are honestly one of the most fun things in Monster Hunter, as we all eagerly, excitingly await updates and news and such. For now then, like if you enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more, and consider supporting the future of this channel on Patreon down below. Until we meet again, a goodbye. Bye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.